I thought, what better deck to do than a dark deck? So today we're going to be taking a look at an Eternatus Poison deck. I'll give you guys a rundown of the deck, and then we'll get into some gameplay. But first, I want to give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer. Please know that decks work differently for everybody, and what works for me might not work for you. I'm not saying that this is the best list. I'm not saying this is the most comprehensive and most foolproof way to run an Eternatus deck. So if something doesn't work for you, but you like a lot of the deck list, feel free to change it and modify it to fit yourself. I know a lot of people were reaching out about the Pikarom deck, only running one of the Raichu and Alolan Raichu, only running one Boltund. A lot of people said, what if one of them's prized and then I don't have access to it? Easy fix. Modify it to fit your needs, or run it the way that it is now a couple times and see how it works for you. But let's get into the deck here. We've got, of course, 4 copies of Eternatus and 3 copies of Eternatus VMAX. I thought about running 4, but I do not have 4 Eternatus VMAX, so we're going to stick with 3 for now. Obviously, we do have the Crobat V for that Dark Asset ability, which allows us to draw until we have 6 cards in our hand once we place him on the bench. But unlike the Shaman from the good old days, he can only use his ability once per turn. So if you put another Crobat on your bench, you're not going to be able to use the ability again. We all know that Eternatus is capable of dealing 270 damage per turn, but that doesn't always knock out Pokemon GX or VMAX. So this is where our little helpers come in. We're running 2 copies of Trubbish and 2 copies of Garbodor for the Poisonous Puddle ability. Looks like we are able to poison our opponent's active Pokemon as long as there's a Stadium card in play. Now, I switched from using the Galarian Slowbro to using the Garbodor because it is a smaller amount of prize cards, and I don't have to put Garbodor into the active. So to make that poison damage a little bit worse, we're running 3 copies of Crobat and 3 copies of Toxicroak. Toxicroak allows you to put 2 more damage counters on your opponent's poisoned Pokemon each turn. So poison and then 3 of these guys. It would do a total of 2, 4, 6, 7 damage counters, which will, I'm pretty sure, one-hit KO almost anything. 270 plus the extra 70 from poison, if you have all of them out on your bench, is going to bring you up to 340. You can one-shot another Eternatus VMAX. You can one-shot Inteleon VMAX, all kinds of stuff. We also are running 4 copies of Crushing Hammer. I had tried running Dangerous Drill, but the Pokemon are too precious to be discarding, especially if you're up against decks like Zacian ADP, who may run Zamazenta, or even a Decidueye, which prevents you from using your Vs to attack. You need that poison damage, and you need the extra damage counters, so discarding Pokemon really isn't a super good option. So 4 copies of that. We also run 3 copies of Great Ball and 3 copies of Pokemon Communication. This is just to go through the deck if we're looking for a VMAX or an evolution Pokemon, or maybe we just don't have a Pokemon in our hand. Good ways to get them out since we do run 21 Pokemon in the deck. 4 Quick Balls, obviously, pretty simple there. We got to get people out into their spots. 3 copies of Switch and 2 copies of Power Plant. I used to run 1 Chaotic Swell, scrapped that. Used to run 3 Dark Cities, scrapped that. The Power Plant can be incredibly disruptive for decks like Pikarom and Zacian ADP. That Mawile with the ability to pull your basic Pokemon onto the bench, this stops it and can prevent a game-winning boss's orders if you have few Pokemon on your bench that are going to be worth enough prize cards for that deck to take. Then we run 3 copies of boss's orders, 3 copies of Marnie, 4 copies of Professor's Research, and then a total of 10 energy. I've nixed the hiding energy altogether because Zamazenta's move, which allows you to discard a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, the fewer special energies, the better in this case. Capture energy just to quickly get the Krogunk and maybe the Trubbish out if we're lucky enough to grab a capture on our first turn, or through any turn of the game just to maybe set up another Eternatus, something like that. It's super duper helpful, and that's why I'm running 2 of those in addition to the 8 Dark instead of just running Dark Energy. But with that being said, I hope you guys will enjoy the gameplay, and let's get right into it. Alright, let's see who we are playing against for game number 1. Alright, they did stop putting the types down at the bottom for the types of Pokemon that people were running in their deck, and I've seen a lot of people do this thing where they will put a deck box with the energy color on it, and it is not at all at all or any way related to the Pokemon that they run. I see a lot of Zacian ADPs running with like a dark deck box. I guess just kind of a way to redirect someone's attention and maybe try to mess up their game plan a little bit, but completely understandable. Unfortunately, we did not get a super fantastic hand to start with here. I wish we would have had a Quick Ball, some kind of something to get a Pokemon, and maybe a Eternatus. I've been having internet trouble, so if that thing flashes there, I'm so sorry. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. I'm debating on just flipping the switch so I can get a couple more cards in my hand with the Crobat. It is pretty wasteful, but at the same time, I need what's going to be more likely to give me something, but that didn't really work. So we're just going to capture energy onto the Crobat, grab that Eternatus. Then at least we can evolve it next turn, slap an energy on it, and hopefully get a better hand coming up. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Blacephalon deck with the Cramorant, the Fire Energy, and their willingness to go second. All fire decks tend to do better going second because they can access... Oh, not what I thought it was at all. Fire decks do like to go second. One, a lot of them run the Volcanion that allows you to attach 3 energy if you go second. Just that Flare Starter ability. Plus, you can use a Welder in that turn. So turn 1, you can attach up to 6 energies with that. But this is, I think, the Lick Go Crazy deck. And if I'm thinking of the right thing, it's an incredibly, incredibly aggravating deck. I've not played against one of these in a very long time. The Licky, I'm pretty sure, has not only an attack with a big, hefty damage, but it also, I'm pretty sure, discards energy, tool, whole bunch of stuff. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to hopefully be able to power accelerate onto the Eternatus VMAX. Maybe we'll get a switch, maybe not. Nope, we're not getting a switch. So, what do we do here? I want to see what I get with a Great Ball first. Nothing. Wow. Not fun to whiff on a Great Ball. That's stinky. So we're going to go ahead and fetch a Crobat and hopefully get a switch. I've gotten in a bad habit of not looking through my deck when I go to pick cards because I was in a tournament and I almost ran out of time because my internet kept doing funky things. And I literally won with 16 seconds left. So now I've been paranoid about running out of time, but I need to make sure that I have the right stuff in my deck. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and utilize the Crushing Hammer. It's not an ideal time to use it because Cramorant is not a huge threat right now, but we're hoping we can grab one of those switches. Nope. Ooh. Throw a Power Plant up there. See what we get with Great Ball. Maybe a Trubbish. Nope. Another Crobat. Grab him for next turn. And we still don't have a Trubbish, which is kind of sucky, but that's all we can do. Luckily, we do have the Eternatus VMAX and an energy in hand, so once we are able to get that Krogunk out of the active, we can attack on the next turn. Oh, what a creepy card, guys. This guy. This guy right here. I only know of this deck and then an Onyx or Steelix deck that utilizes the Pokemaniac. Super, super funny looking guy. And I don't see these decks played very often. That's lucky that they did not have one of their Lickitungs prized. Alright, so Licks Go Crazy. Discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck and an energy. Yeah, that is like super duper annoying. So we're going to see a Beat Catch yet again. I'm hoping we can get a Boss's Orders. I feel less threatened by the Spit Shot of the Cramorant than I do this guy. 90 damage and then discarding 3 cards. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. Now if they run something like Wondrous Labyrinth as well, that would be incredibly difficult to deal with. Because then attacks would cost an extra energy and then they're discarding energy off of me every single turn. There, we finally got our little Trubbish. Hopefully we don't have to get rid of the Garbodor. We will Crobat. Switch. Switch. Cool. Kinda bummed that we didn't get the boss's orders. I do run 3 in the deck. I debated on running 4, honestly, but I don't know. I think it's more important to have 4 of the professor's research, because it can be incredibly frustrating when you only have the boss's orders in your hand and you need like a fresh set of cards to come through. The only reason I did Marnie there is because he beat catch the turn prior, which means he put cards in his hand that he needed. And if I hadn't, I would have been setting him up for, no doubt, a very successful attack from the Licky Licky. So now instead of being able to attach energy as I go, like get this guy ready each turn, I'm going to have to start putting energy back onto the Eternatus VMAX if he can get an energy to knock it off. So I'm just wondering what he is using as far as energy goes, whether it's triple acceleration or if he's going to rely on welder and twin energy. I wouldn't be surprised if this deck ran something like a Lieutenant Surge's strategy, if they were relying on fire energy as well, which it seems like they most definitely are. The reset stamp we don't mind, we just hope we get an energy out of it, and we did, so that's good. We also did get the power plant, which is fantastic. So I'll go ahead and attach an energy here. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab Garbodor. Alright. Looks like one of my VMAXs is prized. Or did we discard it? We still have 4 energy in the deck. Okay. I don't like all of the emotes, because I think people use them as a way to distract, and I'm just not a fan. It gets obnoxious. I mean, I will use emotes if I know the person I'm playing. Sometimes I'll recognize people's screen names if I've played them before, and I will like do a smiley face like, hey, I know you, because unless you're friends with them on the game, you can't actually send a message. But I don't like the spamming. It's super annoying. It's like a scare tactic, I guess. I don't know. I've only played in one actual tournament, you know, in real life world, and I didn't run into people that had any of these like weird ways to distract you. There was only one person who was kind of crappy, and they just kept asking if I was going to drop from the tournament because I had been losing a lot. But it was the very first tournament I had ever played. So, oh, thank God. Thought he was going to get rid of my energy. Alright. Let's see what we got here. But he tried very hard to get inside my head. And that was incredibly annoying. He has 180, so the crushing hammers, I think I will just wait. No reason to use them. I'll use them when I'm backed into a corner. Alright. We might have something huge coming our way. I never know with these kind of decks, because I think the Marnie really delayed his setup. And the fact that he is using welders, relying on welders every turn, kind of prevents him from being able to use things like boss's orders or professor's research if he doesn't have what he needs in his hand. It's difficult to ensure you have a welder in your hand every turn. Yeah, very, very unsure of what's going on. But I have played against this deck before, so I know they have a lot of potential to be incredibly frustrating. I don't really need another basic Pokemon on the bench. We will just Poisonous Puddle. And then Dread. I don't want to say that we got this in the bag for sure, because I have thought that today a couple times when I was playing, and I had another thing coming. Just my personal opinion, I really think this deck would benefit from Lieutenant Surge's strategy. But I could be wrong. Also, if the quality of the mic is poor, I am very sorry. My cord for my mic broke, and I'm having to allow the webcam for my face to pick up the sound. So, hopefully we'll get a new cord soon. Well, that was a good first one. Hopefully we'll play against something a little more, I guess, like normal for the meta. But interesting to see how that matchup went. I would imagine if they went first and were able to evolve on turn 2 and all of that, I think it might have gone a little bit better for them. But with playing Welder and stuff, I do understand why they choose to go second. So, let's give it a go. I thought about trying an Alchemy VMAX deck for the video, and boy oh boy is that deck hard for me to use. Disclaimer number 2 of the video, I am not a very adept, I guess the word, or skilled player. It is very easy for people to mess up my game plan and throw me off. I guess it's something that comes with experience, but also there are times when I get a plan stuck in my head and then find it very hard to remember, hey, my opponent has a plan too, and they are going to be trying to combat whatever I'm doing. So once they realize what I'm doing, I might need to take a step back and redirect what I'm doing, and it just doesn't always work. Alright, so I'm going to take back the Toxicroak, or give back the Toxicroak, take another Eternatus. Gonna go like that. I assumed that they have Crushing Hammers in this deck, because I think this is just another version of Eternatus. So I'm just gonna get rid of the Toxicroak and grab a Crobat. I'm not super worried about poison damage, because I'm pretty sure this deck is not going to be running Zamazenta. Alright, looks like 2 of our Crushing Hammers are prized. One of our communication records, I'm sorry, yeah, Pokemon Communications is prized. And, oh man, what else is prized? Krogunk? Toxicroak? 1 Krogunk. Any Eternatus? No? No? Any VMAX? No? Is that 6? Is that 6 prize cards? I don't know. I'm bad at math, and I can't count well. Same thing, right? Okay, so, sad day. We didn't draw into the Trubbish, which I wish we had. Aw, Imarnie. I miss Cynthia. I don't know about you guys, but I really miss Cynthia. Something about putting cards on the bottom of my deck always makes me super nervous, so if I have a Marnie and a Professor's Research in hand, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to Professor's Research. And that is why I still deck myself out sometimes. Especially with decks like Pikarom, where you're churning through the deck to try to get what you need for turn 2, get all your Pokemon set up, get 2 energy into the discard, find your Tapu Koko Prism Star. Just so much stuff. They said, we're gonna get these damage counters on, so once I have a VMAX, I can one-shot you. Yveltal. Alright. So, I'm just gonna do that. Give that to you here. Kind of sad about the Garbodor. That's a... I don't really need another Eternatus right now. Okay. Bummed that we have to get rid of that. Super bummed. But it could be worse. Go ahead and put another Krogunk down. Oh, okay, a Garbodor is prized. That's what was prized. Oh no, that's frightening. Well, what else should we put down? I have the ability to knock him out if I can get enough of these guys out. So that's 3, 6, 7 is 2, 10. Then I put the Crobat down, and that will be all I need. No real reason for me to put Power Plant up. And they conceded. Wow. Usually, I shouldn't say usually, since I've only done one other video like this. I was only going to stick with 2 games per video like this, so let me know down in the comments below if you guys want me to do more, especially if somebody concedes early on. But I have some other decks that I wanted to go over with you all. I can put a poll in the community section for the channel. I was thinking about Blacephalon, Zacian ADP, which is super popular, as always. I can try the Alchemy. It's just very finicky, if you ask me. Centiskorch VMAX is another super popular deck that is going around. There's some control decks. There's the Drill Bazooka with Excadrill. Lots of super cool decks in standard format right now. And then with Vivid Voltage coming soon, I can't wait to do some deck building with you guys, and I can't wait to hear your ideas for decks. So if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. In the description below, you'll find links to my Instagram, my merch store, and my Patreon. Make sure you guys are checking out the merch and sharing it with anybody you think may be interested. I also am making beautiful little Pokemon lockets for anybody who is interested. You can check them out on Instagram. They come in a variety of sizes, colors, and designs. It can do any Pokemon that you guys want. We have them available in more masculine and more feminine designs, so I hope you guys will check those out and help support the channel. But I hope you guys have a safe and wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.